Hey, this is Eileen Fernandez Parker, Instructional Technology Coach. Today I'm going to show you how to set up a Blogger account for someone who's never done it before. So I'm going to be using a different Gmail account than I usually use because I haven't set up a Blogger account in here yet. You can just hit the new tab so that you get your Google screen or any screen that has the Google 9 square on it. We're going to click on the 9 square and we're going to scroll down to the Blogger icon. And when I click on that, it's going to take me to the Blogger page. This is what real bloggers are using. So as far as authentic learning goes, this is key. So I'm going to click on the sign in button in the top right hand corner. All right, and it's going to take us to our profile page. So the profile options, we can use a Google Plus profile or we can use a Blogger profile. Google Plus, just FYI, is like Facebook for Google. You create your own groups, your own circles. People can follow you. You can post things online, just like that. Okay, so I think for schools, though, it might be wise for us to create a limited Blogger profile. So you can put your display name here. Now, when you're working with students, you want to make sure they do not put their full name, ever. So first names are usually the best because they are less descriptive than last names. Unless the person has a really descriptive first name, then you might choose something else, okay? So for me, I'm just going to do my initials, EFP. I can choose to share the posts with Google+, but then I would be doing the step that we just decided not to do. So I'm just going to hit continue to Blogger. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you first begin. There are some rules here about blogging, courtesy rules, laws for European users, etc. So it's going to be important for you to read that. I'm not going to read it to you right now. Step one is going to be to go into settings. So we're going to go into settings immediately. For the user profile, we're using our Blogger profile. We don't want to use for use Blogger draft. That's new. I'm not sure what it is. For language, we're going to go with English. For email notifications, you can choose yes or no. For now, I'm choosing no because I don't need any more messages than I already get. So for here, we're going to save those settings. Those are our general settings. Okay, so in the top right-hand corner, we're going to hit Save Settings. And then we are going to need to, I'm a little bit hung up, we're going to need to begin our first new blog. So right here where it says New Blog, we're going to click on the down arrow and choose New Blog. And we have to choose a title for our blog. So if this is for an English class, I could choose something that has to do with words. If it's science, it could be, something that has to do with chemicals or elements or whatever. So I'm just going to call this one Wordsmith. And this can be the same as another title, but the address here has to be unique, okay? So if I choose Wordsmith, and it automatically will default to blogspot.com, I have to select the drop-down menu. It checks it, and if it's not been used before, you get the blue check. So it says it is available, so I'm good to go. One of the recommendations that I have seen by teacher bloggers with their classes is that they will do the first name. So for me, it would be Eileen. And then they will do like the school initials. And then they will do the year. And the chances of that being reused more than once are a lot less than doing like Wordsmith. I'm really shocked that nobody has chosen Wordsmith before. Okay, so below that now it says it's not available. All right, then I'll go back to EFP. And then 2018. Let's see if that's been taken. I'm good. Okay, so now underneath I can choose the style that I like. So every student can choose his or her own favorite, and then you just hit Create Blog. So it's created now. For this, find a domain for your blog. This is if you want to not have blogspot.com at the end. So like if I wanted my name and then I wanted to search for it, it would tell me whether or not it's been taken. So for kids to learn about professional stuff, I can do eileenfernandezparker.com, and it's going to cost me $12 and then $12 and then I have to buy it. Okay. So this is stuff that you can share with your kids so that they are gaining knowledge of real world things, or you can just skip it. So notice now I'm in my Wordsmith blog over here. When I want to create another blog, and just for terminology, a blog is equivalent to a book. So Wordsmith is like the title of my blog, and then posts are chapters in my blog. Does that make sense? So blog is to book as post is to chapter. Okay? When I want to create another one, because under one Blogger account, a student can create an unlimited number. So I can create another blog just by clicking on this down arrow. That's something that is not obvious, so you have to remember that. Click on the down arrow and choose new blog. All right, so when a student creates the blog, then we need to immediately go into the settings for the blog. So we did general settings before. Now we're doing specific settings, and this has to do with privacy and safety. Okay, so underneath the settings, we're going to do basic first. And I have my title here. I can change the title if I don't want to be called Wordsmith anymore. I can change it. I can write a description. The description is important if you want to be found when people do searches. For right now, we might not want the kids to be found because we want to get them used to it. We want them to grow, and we want them to be confident in showing their work off to the world. So they might earn the changing the privacy settings and adding a description. So right now, it's listed on Blogger. We're going to go in and edit that. We don't want it to be listed, and we don't want to be found. Not in the beginning, okay? Eventually, we want our kids to be writing for the world so that they have an authentic audience. But in the beginning, I would recommend choosing no to both of those. Okay, now, setting a custom domain will disable HTTPS. Okay, the HTTPS has to do with security, and that has to do with getting higher rankings on Google, and it also has to do with if you're selling things, you want to have the extra S on the end of the HTTP. For us, it doesn't matter, and we're not buying a domain, so we can just skip that section. The HTTP redirect, we're not going to worry about that. And then down here, blog authors and blog readers. We want to go in under blog readers. Okay. Our choices are public, so all readers anybody who finds it can read it. Private is only blog authors, and private only these readers. Because we set the settings at the top to not be found, I feel pretty strongly that we would be safe making it public, and then that way we can share links out and other people can read them without being limited. So we're going to choose public for the last one, and we're going to save those settings, and make sure you save. The next setting goes under posts and comments. In the beginning, when kids are writing, they're going to be very vulnerable, and we have to teach the other students how to write a proper comment. And I have an infographic on that that is posted on my Cultivating the Learning blog, so you can go there to find it. I also have a description. The blog explains how to use it with links to some good YouTube videos that will show and explain to kids how to leave a good comment. So you've got those resources. So for this, the number of posts, this is arbitrary. A kid can choose whatever he wants. Showcase images with Lightbox, that just makes it a little bit prettier. Comment location, we're going to leave it as embedded. And then who can comment? We don't want it to be anonymous because that's dangerous, okay? For registered users, I'm not really sure what OpenID is, so I'm going to go with users with Google accounts, because then that means that any student would be able to, any of our district students would be able to respond to any of our students. And then later on, you might want to do registered user. Eventually, we want parents to be able to read and comment too, but we'll go on to that later. Comment moderation. In the beginning, we want the kids to moderate. We want them to be reading them and then posting them out. We want them to have the power that if something is embarrassing or humiliating or makes them uncomfortable, that they can choose to not post it. Show word verification. Definitely choose yes for this, because there are bots that will subscribe to your blog, and we just really don't even know, all the crazy stuff going on with bots. We definitely want word verification so that we have real humans leaving messages. Comment form message. A student can add this, and this would just be a simple thank you. They don't have to. Thank you for taking the time to comment on my blog. I am trying to improve my skills. And they can skip this, or they can choose to leave a message. All right. Google Plus comments. We are not using the Google Plus profile, so we're not going to change that. Share to Google Plus. We're not doing that right now. So we're going to save those settings, and it is saving. And then for email, the kids can post using email, but we're not going to touch this for right now. And then user settings. These were the general settings that we did when we first created the blog. So the kids are ready now to post. I'm going to close out this tutorial, and then I'll start a new one on how to do a post.